Hello, everybody. Ooh, that's kind of loud. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Good. Welcome to the Beaverton Library. Our current Story Slam, we've lost track of how many we've done. My name's Blaine. I work here at the library along with Ann over here. And do we have any new people here tonight? Oh, we do. Okay, not too many new people, though. A lot of returners. Okay. So just to kind of explain a little bit how it works, people who want to tell stories have put their names into a hat, and we are going to pull the name out of the hat, and you're going to come up here and you're going to tell your story. You have about 5 to 8 minutes to tell your story, and we have quite a few tellers tonight, so we might be a little aggressive with the rattle if you sound like you're not going to get done in time, but I think we can fit everyone in, so especially if I stop yammering on and on. If I do start yammering on and on, you'll hear something like this. Yes, yeah. And then if your time's really up and you need to get off the stage, you'll hear something like this. That sounds like the first one. Okay, maybe how about just a little tiny shake if they're like at 7 or 8 minutes. We try not to use the rattle is the point. If it looks like you're getting close to the end and you're not going to be wrapping up soon, you'll hear a little shake. And then if you get to like 9 or absolutely 10 minutes at the max, you're going to hear a vigorous rattle. So, hopefully some people's stories are shorter. I don't know. Let's see. If you have cell phones, if you can silence them, that would be awesome. I turned mine off because I always forget. Ann over here is going to be doing the timing. Does anyone have any questions before we get started? Oh, I see a question. Yes.
Will you help the storytellers with the microphone adjusting?
Yes, I will adjust. I will wait until you get up here. I will adjust the microphone so we have it at the right level. I always forget to mention a lot of things. One of them is that we are videotaping this. Microphone just cut out. And it usually works pretty well. I do put them on YouTube afterwards, so people can watch them if they want. I only have 2 followers. One of them's my son. I think one of the other followers may come to the slam. He made a comment even, so. But I always try and send the link out so because people like to see what they look like up on stage and how they're doing. So it's mostly a chance for you to see how you did, and it's a lot of fun. So, okay, another question, yes.
Do you always have the Story Slam here, and on which Thursday?
Yeah, so here's the way it generally works. We do 3 or 4 of them a year. They've always been on Thursday nights. Ann and I both work on Thursday nights, and it seems to be a good night for people. And they sometimes will have a theme, sometimes they won't. We're trying to move more towards themes, but we don't want people to feel like their story may not fit the theme. So we try and pick a general theme, and Lost and Found came up, and we thought, oh, that's a great theme. Everybody's lost or found something. I lost my footing today on a grassy knoll getting my mother a milkshake, and I almost blew out a disc. So yeah, just if you're not on are you on the email list? Okay, good. So I send out the emails usually a month before the slam happens, just to let you know, and then send a reminder out the week before, so you know about it. And the next one after this will be actually in June. It's the annual Travel Story Slam, which is very popular. I'll just go ahead and make this announcement now. In April, we have the Art of the Story Festival. Does everybody know what that is? Okay, I hear some applause. We do a week-long storytelling festival, the libraries throughout Washington County. We bring in professional tellers, some local, and one or 2 nationals. This year we have 1 national. Her name's Geraldine Buckley. She is from the East Coast, and she's hilarious. She's a former chaplain, and she's worked in prisons, and I've seen her tell, and she's really funny. So that's in April. The actual dates are April 28th to the 5th. It's a week long. Their events are all over the county. And it always kicks off with a slam here, an amateur slam that I've already got the tellers for. I recruit early in the year for that. And they They will be here on actually April 21st, which is 2 weeks. The festival starts on the 28th, but we couldn't get the auditorium, so it's actually, I'll call it a 2-week-long festival. So it'll start here on the 21st, and I will send out an email to everyone about that to remind them of that. It is usually, this place is full with chairs down here. We usually have about 180 people. It's a lot of fun. The tellers are all, they all have a little experience. They're not professionals. Some of them have been on The Moth, maybe PDX Back Fence, Portland Story Theater. They are all good. I've seen them tell. So, and we have a couple tellers tonight who are returning tellers who have told in the festival before here at the Slam. So you'll see them a little bit later. This keeps cutting out. Hopefully it won't be a problem. So let's go ahead and pull the first name. I want to get going so we can get everybody in here. You should have shaken the rattle, Ann. I was yammering on. Yeah.
So the first teller is Susan Schmidtman.
Susan. There she. Oh, she's going to get out of the way. Come on up, Susan. Oh, and just while Susan's coming up, if you can use the stairs, that would be great. You can get up over here. You want to go up kind of over here at the back. There's a little step. These steps can be a little tricky, so that's the best place to enter the stage from over there. So come on up, Susan. And just one other quick thing, if you can get about 3 inches from the microphone, that's usually good.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Alrighty. My name is Susan, and my internal navigation system is seriously flawed. I once got lost in a bathroom. Now, it's not entirely my fault. It was a big bathroom, and there were a lot of mirrors, but I didn't realize, because I had to go, didn't realize that there were 2 entrances and exits. And then I went out the wrong one, and I kind of turned in a circle a couple of times and got frightened and went back in the bathroom and ended up in the men's bathroom. But by then I didn't have to go anymore, so I don't know why I did that. I live in western Washington County, which is very good for someone with a poor navigation system because there are fewer roads out there. And I used to work out in Seaside. And it was perfect. It was about an hour drive from home and only one road. I couldn't fail. I made it to work every single day, made it home every single day. Until one time, somebody asked me to work for a month in Portland. It would only take the same amount of time to drive, you're just going the other way, was what I was told several times. And then I found out it was on Hawthorne Street. Anybody know where Hawthorne Street is? I had no clue. But I figured I could do it for a month to fill in. So I looked at the map, I figured out where I was going, and headed to Portland. Well, usually, when I get off of Highway 26, I'm lost already. But I made it all the way through the tunnel. Yay for me! I made it to I-84. Yay for me! And I even turned off on the Hollywood exit, which is heading almost towards Lloyd Center, but not. It's the exit, but I knew I had to turn the other way. I turned the other way, and by golly, I made it to the business. And I was so surprised, I was happy. I could do this for a month. I can make it in Portland. Well, that worked until it was time to get off work that night when it was dark and dreary, and the one-ways don't go the same direction at night that they were going during the daytime, and I got lost. I don't know how I did it, don't know where I ended up, but then I saw a light. Well, actually, it was a sign. The sign said, Salem. Hot dog, I know where Salem is, head that way. And once I get past Wilsonville or so, I know where I am, I can turn around and head home. Easy. I figured it out my first day, but it took me almost 2 hours to get home. So I had to put up with a little bit of trouble from my family, but I figured, one time I could get by with it. The next day, same thing. Drove right to Hawthorne, got to work, but on the way home, right away I was lost. So I figured it out. I know what I did. What did I do? Followed the sign to Salem. Absolutely, heading to Salem. I don't know where I was. I found the sign to Salem and started going that way. So every night when I would get off work, it would take me probably an extra hour to get home. But I always got home, so it wasn't too bad of being lost. But by the fourth night, my family was really tired of me coming home late. So we pulled out the map, we flattened it out on the kitchen table. We spent hours going over the streets, reminding me which ones were one way, which ones weren't, how to turn right, how to turn left. And then it started to make sense. I understood the map. So I took a piece of paper, I had a big black Sharpie, and I wrote the directions. They must have been that tall so that I could see them when I'm driving. And when I turn left, and when I turn right, and watch out for this, and move over there. And I knew what I was doing. So that next morning, I got in the car, I went to work, easy peasy, not a problem. When I got off work, the rain was coming down and the windshield wipers were slapping back and forth. And before I knew it, I was lost. Not only was I lost, but there were buses surrounding me. There was a school bus on one side, a charter bus on another side, a city bus, I don't know where it came from, and I didn't know where I was. And there were kids getting off the bus, it looked like some trombone players moving past me, and I called my husband while I was stuck in traffic, and I said, "This is not working." And he said, "Well, just look for a sign." "I can't look for a sign. There's 100 buses around me." He says, "Well, just take the next right." There was no next right. There was no streets to the right. I just kept going until I saw the sign for Salem and headed south. I was only 2.5 hours late that night instead of my 1.5 hours late, which was my normal getting lost. So I gave up on the pieces of paper, I gave up on the maps, I just knew I was going to be lost, and that was it. And then a time came when my mom was in the hospital up at OHSU. Pill Hill, oh my gosh, that place is scary even to think about it. I got a ride up to Pill Hill and was just planning on spending the night with my mom. I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't going to get lost. I couldn't even walk out of her room without getting lost because even in the hospital itself, you have no idea where you're going. So I stayed in her room, and we were right there. That chair is pretty comfy. My brother showed up that evening to visit, and at the end of visiting hours, he said to me, "Gosh, I hope I can make it home tonight. I have a terrible sense of direction." I said, "Oh, I understand. I have that problem all the time." So I said, "You know, if you do get lost on the way home, don't panic, just give me a call." He took off. About 45 minutes later, my phone rings. And I said, "Are you lost?" "Oh, yes, I'm lost." I go, "No problem, brother. I got you straightened out. You just listen to me." I go, "What, do you see any road signs?" He says, "Yeah, I see a road sign." I say, "What does it say?" He says, "Terwilliger." And in my mind, I have grown up in this area. I've been here all my life. I have heard of Terwilliger all the time. People have a lot of trouble on Terwilliger. Yeah. Don't have a clue where it is. It's somewhere in Portland. I don't know where. But what advice did I give my brother? I said, "Just keep going until you see a sign for Salem. You'll be able to get there." And there was a noise that came out of my brother that I did not understand. It was either a laugh or a cry, or I don't know what it was, but he said, "No, no, no, you don't understand." I said, "What possibly couldn't I understand? Just head to Salem." He says, "No, I haven't found my car yet." Oh, brother, you and me are related. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. That was well told. I was worried you're going to wind up in a drum circle on Hawthorne or something. Who's next, Anne?
The next teller is, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, Ethan or Ehan?
Ehan, come on up. We've had some young tellers here, and they really do a good job. They're always really entertaining. One more quick little piece of advice. Some people like to take the mic out and stroll around on the stage, which is fine. If you're up here telling, I got a couple pieces of tape. So don't go beyond the tape or you'll go off the camera, and then I don't know what will happen. So, all right, here you go. Do you want to use the mic stand, or are you going to hold the mic? Okay.
Thank you. I'm from 6th grade in middle school, so just so you know. So, you know that most people in your whole life, they've never had good luck in your whole life. Once or twice in your life, you're probably going to lose something and then find it later, or maybe never find it ever again. So, at my middle school, Stoller Middle School, our lost and found is like a gold rush. Like, you know that California gold rush? It's like a gold rush because one day maybe you'll see something there, and then the next day it'll be completely gone because probably someone took it or theft or something. But I was one of those victims. Like, it happened like this very same jacket I had lost at school a few weeks before winter break. And it happened that on that very same day I had fateful gym. And I had forgotten to leave this jacket in my locker. So therefore I had to ditch my jacket onto the side of the gym until later. So at the end of the day, I just walk out of my classroom, and I was a bus kid, so I didn't want to be late for my bus. And then suddenly I realized I was cold, so when I put 2 and 2 together, I realized I thought I lost my jacket. So I just run down to the gym, and guess what? It's not there! Next, I run down to the lost and found, and guess what? It wasn't there either! And then I was on the verge of bursting into tears. Well, then suddenly a miracle happened. My jacket fell out of the sky and fell into my hands. No, it didn't happen at all. But you know what? I had to try even harder. So I went into each of my classrooms I had that day, and I searched each and every one of those classrooms for if my jacket was there. And out of the corner of my eye, in the math classroom, I saw that on my teacher's desk was my jacket. And I was pretty glad that my jacket was still there, and it meant a lot to me. So, and I was glad it wasn't like that This other time, I was in 4th grade, and I had lost this orange water bottle. It was $20, and I was in 4th grade, and all I remember I had done, I was really careless, and all I cared about was finishing my homework to play video games, and that was just all I cared about. And then alas came that one day that I lost that water bottle and into the void of mysterious lost objects, never to be found again. So, to this day, whenever I'm thirsty, I always wish I had that water bottle. And I'm just sitting in class, and I'm very thirsty, and I'm like, man, I wish I had that orange water bottle. So, to top it off, in the end, the lost and found at a school or at work is a very good place for someone that has lost their objects to be able to be found again. Whether they're valuable or like they're not worth anything, it's still a place where you can still find your material or clothes or valuable or something. And then also, so, yeah, so, thank you.
Great job. That's great. Yeah, were your parents upset about a $20 water bottle? I know, I've been upset at my kids about $20 water bottles. Good job. Who's next, Ann?
All right, the next teller is Virginia. Oh no.
Virginia, come on up. Are you going to use the mic stand, Virginia?
Yes.
Okay.
Testing, can you all hear me? Never spoken in front of a group before, so be kind. My name is Virginia, and I'm an animal lover. So I moved here from Texas 10 years ago, and driving across the United States, we had 2 dogs and 2 cats in our car. So my one cat, whose name is Jackson, who unfortunately I lost 3 or 4 months ago, he was 19 years old. I had him before I had my husband, my present husband. So we lived here for, let me see, we lived here for about a year, and we got, I'm trying to think, we lost a dog, and so then we had one dog, we bought another dog, and we bought a Great Doodle, which is a Great Dane Poodle, who everybody thinks is a wolfhound. And if I had $1 for any time that someone said Scottish, no. Irish, no. Great Doodle. He had a Great Dane mother and a Poodle father. So we had a giant crate in our bedroom. So my husband, whose name is Jack, cat's name is Jackson, keep up. So we had a huge crate on his side of the bed because it was pretty much his dog. So he went to get it, he picked it up. So we have a sliding glass door. So to crate train him, every time the dog made a whimper, Jack would put it on side and bring it back in. Well, this was in February. Cold outside, rainy. So cats, if anybody has a cat, they like to hide behind the curtains. So one morning I said, where's Jackson? I haven't seen him around. So anybody who has a cat knows you're looking in all the little hidey holes and couldn't find him. So he was missing, and we figured he got out whenever he let Max out. So came home from work and looked every night for him, and put an ad on Craigslist, put signs around the neighborhood, reward. I did everything I could think of. So after about a week and a half, on Craigslist, there was a woman who answered my ad. She didn't find Jackson, but she was kind of like a professional, good pet looker. So she helped me look in people's crawl space and did all kinds of things. It's kind of different. Excuse me. So anyway, so one day I come home, or I'm at work. I work in downtown Portland, and my husband called. He said, "When are you coming home?" I said, "Well, the normal time. I should be around 6." He goes, "Okay, don't go anywhere. Just come straight home." I was like, "Okay." So I come in the house. In the meantime, I was crying every night about Jackson because it just broke my heart. He's outside, coyotes, cold, what can happen to him, etc. So he goes, "Go in the living room." So I walked in the living room, and there's my Jackson sitting on the sofa. Kind of, he lost half his body weight. I think he was about 15 pounds, and then when we found him, he was 9 pounds. And I was like, "Oh my God," I was crying and hugging him. And so I said, "How'd you find him?" He says, "Well, the guy across the street, he saw that the lady down at the other end of the street had put a sign up, found cat." So he went and got him, got a crate and got him. So I run across the street, "Oh my God, thank you," and I give this guy $50, which is, I think, a little much. And then he says, "Well, I got it from this lady down the street. She's the one that found it." So I run down the street and give her $50. So then I come back to the house, and my husband said, he didn't say anything. And I said, "I'm going a little crazy, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah." Well, then the cul-de-sac behind our house, and we have a dog who we walk all the time, and these boys, who were probably 11 or 12, I said, "Have you seen a cat? White cat, brown tail, let me know if you find him." Well, he came to my door and he says, "We've been looking, we can't find the cat." And I said, "We found the cat. Here's $20. So then, this is probably the worst thing. A couple of days later, this same kid comes to my door with a friend. He says, he helped us look for the cat. So I gave him $20. I am not a wealthy woman. But I was so glad to have Jackson back. Oh, it was like nothing could go wrong now. I don't even regret giving all the money away because we had our little Jackson back and our family was complete. Thank you.
Great job, Virginia. We have a lot of new tellers tonight, and some of them expressed nervousness, but you're going to do fine. So yeah, that was great. Those kids are probably really excited. Let's do one more new teller. Or, oh, you had something, you want to do it? What do you got in your hand there?
I got a returning.
Let's do a returning teller. I'm going to let you. Anne's the executive producer. She really makes this thing go.
All right, so the next teller is Janice.
Janice, come on up. I know you're out there. There she is. Janice, are you going to print? You like to walk around? No? Okay. You're going to make me take this.